Hey traders, so in this short video, I want to talk a little bit about having a good streak or a win streak in trading and how to actually handle it, because this is kind of a unique question where a lot of times people are so worried about, what do I do when I'm losing multiple times? How do I psychologically handle it? But there's this also, equally as important concept of what do you do when you have a winning streak in trading or investing? What do you do? What do you mentally do to avoid giving back all of those profits and basically just restarting where you left off? A lot of times, maybe some of you guys can relate to this, especially when I was a newer trader, I would have a winning streak, I would have some good days and I'd have some profits, and then one dumb decision or one bad trade would get me all the way back to the start. Let me know in the comments below, has this ever happened to you? And maybe give an example if you have one. But basically, this week I had a pretty decent week. It was actually like a 5% week, which for me is a really, really solid week. It does not happen every week like that, but gained about 5% overall on the account, which is really, really good, or one of my accounts, which I'm really happy with. Now, how am I going to avoid giving back all of those profits and more in the next week or in the next month? I think that there's kind of a couple different tricks that I personally use to try and reduce the chance of this happening. And one of the biggest one is after having a series of winners or a couple good wins, the first thing that I like to do is actually take my position size for the next couple trades and reduce it, because there's this thing that happens when you have winning trades. It's like you become more confident, like you become more, full of yourself almost. You become a little bit arrogant, and that's easy to do, and it happens to so many people so often, and I think it can be a really, really big danger to messing up your trading performance. So I think that for me, the kind of the routine thing that I will do is that after I have a really good week, I will routinely take my position size for the next few trades and reduce it so that I kind of get myself back to normal and almost expect to have a few more losses. So I'll take a couple more small trades, knowing that it's probably not going to be this good all the time. With trading, that's just how it goes. You make profits, you give some back, you make profits, you give some back, and if you know what you're doing over the long term, you make more money than you lose. So that's kind of the goal. So how do we not give back all those profits? For me, again, I have to psychologically come down from the win streak, right? There's this kind of, you get into a good streak, you feel confident, you feel really good, and sometimes people make the mistake then, they become very confident, and then they put on big positions thinking, I know what this market's gonna do, I'm super good at this, I'm super confident, and super confidence in the market is a quick way to get yourself hurt, right? Because a lot of times what ends up happening is people get super confident, they get super arrogant, and then on their next trade, they're like, okay, now I'm gonna really weigh into this one and really, make big money. And it can work for a little bit of time, especially if you're really catching some good moves. There's no doubt that you can get a good hot streak going and things can go well for a while. But inevitably, a win streak will end, and that's okay. We just need to know that, we need to have some steps to take so that we don't mess up the profits that we do make. We need to be conservative with our approach and stay steady overall. So for me, biggest thing that I'm going to do is reduce my position size, and as I mentioned also, expect there to be losers coming around the corner. And it's not to be pessimistic or bum yourself out. It's more to be realistic with yourself. Say, hey, you know what? I've had some good trades. That's great. We caught some of the market moves, and that's solid. But let's expect to give some back somewhere along the way. Maybe not right away. Maybe we'll have more trades that are good. But expect that somewhere along the way, this is going to end. This is not how it always is. There are weeks where you have good weeks, there are weeks where you have bad weeks, and you have to be prepared for both. So again, that's kind of my biggest practical step, is to reduce my position sizes going forward, to kind of prepare and to be okay with the fact that your trades are not always going to be winners. Actually, one more thing to add to that: if you're going to be using smaller position sizes, what this kind of does is inevitably lowers your emotional attachment to your trades. And I know that people always say, trade like a robot, and that's a nice concept to think about. But in reality, money is money, and we all are emotional. This computer costs money, my car costs money, my house costs money, my bills cost money. We are all attached to money, and so to detach yourself entirely emotionally from your trades and your money, to me, is not as realistic as respecting your emotions. So respect the feelings that you have, the psychology behind your trades, take that into account. And for me, reducing that position size is kind of like humbles myself. It makes it so that the moves are not as important. They're not as drastic. We're not changing the account so much. And so it kind of doesn't, it takes me down off of that that big, big moving feeling, I guess, the big high that you get from big moving trades. And I think that, coming down off of that is very, very important, and bringing yourself back to reality is key. Because if you're trading on that high, you have like a really good feeling, there's nothing wrong with being happy about a good trade that played out. But if you trade with that kind of giddy good feeling in your mind all the time, it can be really dangerous when things don't go as planned. So that's kind of my key ways to come down off of a winning streak. Again, really great week this week in the VIP group. By the way, if you're not a member, you can find out information down below in the description, incurredtrading.com/VIP. You can find out all the information about our online community. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free, so why not? And also give this video a thumbs up down below if you want to see more content like this, just little trading tips and kind of steps along the way in my trading journey. So thanks so much, and we'll see you back next time.